Mega Evolution, a mechanic that allows for Pokemon to become even stronger than their prior forms by giving them increased stats and new abilities. But which Mega form is the strongest out of them all? Hopefully it can be calculated using numbers. So here we go, calculating the best Mega Evolution. The scores Pokemons will receive will depend on the following factors. First is their base stat. Their stats will be split into the following categories: Bulk, which will be the Pokemon's defensive stat, plus their HP, and Offense, which will be the higher one of their offensive stat, multiplied by 2, plus their speed stat. The category that gets the higher score will be their build score. They will also get a score equal to half of their other build, and classify whether they are a tank or a sweeper. If the score between the two are between 10, the Pokemon will be classified as hybrid. Sweepers will be further subcategorized into physical sweeper and special sweeper. However, subcategorized sweepers moveset will only contain moves compatible with their subcategories. Next is their typing, which will be their typing score times 6. After that is their moveset. Each Pokemon will have the following moveset, and the score of each moves will be based on the move's base power, multiplied by 1.5 if it is stab, multiplied by its accuracy, and plus or minus any secondary effects. The two most common secondary effects are applying status condition or causing stat changes. Pokemon will gain additional points equal to half of the chances of applying status conditions, or change by 25 for each stage the move increase/decrease a stat. The final factor is Pokemon's abilities. Abilities will only be factored into the Pokemon score if Pokemon's abilities are certain, guaranteed, and quantifiable, unless otherwise stated. Hopefully you understood that. This is how the full formula looks like. Let's just start. In 50th in the Mega Pokemon that received the lowest score, and it wasn't even close, was Mega Sableye. Now I'm gonna go into depth of why it ranked low so I don't get scorched in the comment section. So if you skipped over that calculation method or just didn't understand, it pretty much awards a Pokemon scoring based off their stats. More stats equal more score, obviously. But not every stat is valued the same. HP and speed are weighted more than any other stat, and only one of the user's attacking stat is counted, with double the value. Out of all Mega Evolutions, Mega Sableye has the lowest base stat, lowest speed, lowest HP, and second lowest attacking stat, which altogether definitely brought its scoring down. Not only that, the moveset scoring selected for a Pokemon is based off damage, so Sableye's playstyle of being a utility unit doesn't do any justice for its score. Finally, its ability in Magic Guard, although very good, won't be giving it any extra points because its effects can't be guaranteed. The rest of the Pokemon on this list won't have this long of an explanation, hopefully, because I don't want to make an hour-long video. Yeah, anyways, its stat split will classify as a tank and have a build score of 315, with its other build being 200. Sableye has the typing of Dark and Ghost to give it a typing score of 3.5, and it'll have the moveset of Foul Play, Shadow Ball, Drain Punch, and Confuse Ray, for an average move score of 104.5, and end up with a final score of 540.5. In 49th is Glalie. Its stat split will classify as a sweeper and have a build score of 390, with its other build being 280. Glalie has a typing of Mono Ice, so it's best to tell you guys right now that Mono type Pokemon don't get as good of a score as Dual type due to overall score of Mono types, and they will only be given one stab move instead of 2 for Dual types. The Ice typing gives Glalie a typing score of -3, and will have the moveset of Ice Beam, Body Slam, Earthquake, and Protect, paired up with the ability Refrigerate for an average move score of 114.5 and a final score of 626.5. In 48th is Altaria, and just like Glalie, its stat split will classify as a sweeper. Those who get labeled this classification also tend to score lower than expected, as they don't get the benefits of the extra stats for being either pure physical sweeper or special sweeper. It will have the build score of 340, with its other build being 327.5. Altaria has the typing of Dragon and Fairy to give it a typing score of 0.5, and will have the moveset of Outrage, Moonblast, Body Slam, and Cotton Guard, paired up with the ability Pixelate for an average move score of 136.5 and a final score of 643. In 47th is Audino. Its stat split will classify as a tank and have a build score of 406.5, with its other build being 235. Audino has a typing of Normal and Fairy to give it a typing score of 3, and will have the moveset of Dazzling Gleam, Body Slam, Drain Punch, and Wish for an average move score of 103. Its ability doesn't have a guaranteed chance of activating, so it won't be given any bonus points for it, and end up with a final score of 645. In 46th is Abomasnow. Its stat split will classify as a tank and will have a build score of 345, with its other build being 309. Due to Abomasnow's ability of Snow Warning, it will increase its build score to 397.5. Abomasnow has the typing of Grass and Ice to give it a typing score of -5, and will have the moveset of Blizzard, Giga Drain, Earthquake, and Leech Seed, aided by the Snowstorm effect from Snow Warning for an average move score of 138 and a final score of 660. In 45th is Slowbro. Its stat split will classify as a tank and have a build score of 402.5, with its other build being 305. Slowbro has the typing of Water and Psychic to give it a typing score of 2. It will have the moveset of Psychic, Surf, Earthquake, and Amnesia for an average move score of 105.5. Its ability in Shell Armor doesn't guarantee a loss in damage received, so it won't get any bonus points for that. and end up with a final score of 672.5. In 44th is Camerupt. Its stat split will classify it as a hybrid and have a build score of 320, with its other build being 310. Camerupt has a typing of fire and ground to give it a typing score of 11.5. It will have the moveset of Earth Power, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, and Stealth Rock, boosted by its ability Sheer Force for an average move score of 129.5, and a final score of 673.5. In 43rd is Absol. Its stat split will classify it as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 472.5, with its other build being 217.5. Absol has the typing of Mono Dark to give her typing score of 0 and have the moveset of Sucker Punch, Stone Edge, Mega Horn, and Swords Dance for an average move score of 92.5. And as stated with Sableye, its magic bounce ability awards it 0 points and end up with a final score of 674. In 42nd is Ampharos. Its stat split will classify it as a special sweeper and have a build score of 397.5, with its other build being 350. Ampharos has the typing of Electric and Dragon to give her typing score of -0.5, and will have the moveset of Thunderbolt, Dragon Pulse, Dazzling Gleam, and Cotton Guard for an average move score of 105.5. Its ability in Mold Breaker is very powerful, but its effects can't be guaranteed or quantified in the calculation, so it won't receive any points from it, and end up with a final score of 675. In 41st is Banette. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 442.5, with its other build being 254. Banette has the typing of Mono Ghost to give her typing score of 4, and will have the moveset of Shadow Claw, Sucker Punch, Gong Shot, and Confuse Ray for an average move score of 98.5, even with Confuse Ray scoring boosted by Banette's Prankster, and end up with a final score of 692. In 40th is Kangaskhan, but I'll intervene and place it higher and explain why when it appears again. In 40th instead is Sharpedo. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 437.5, with its other build being 240. Sharpedo is the typing of Water and Dark to give it a typing score of 4, and will have the moveset of Liquidation, Crunch, Ice Fang, and Agility for an average move score of 117.5 when counting the boost received by the ability Strong Jaws, and a final score of 699. In 39th is Venusaur. Its stat split will classify as a hybrid and have a build score of 364, with its other build being 363. Venusaur has the typing of Grass and Poison to give her typing score of 3, but its ability Thick Fat increases its scoring to 7. It will have the moveset of Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Earthquake, and Toxic for an average move score of 115.5 and a final score of 703. In 38th is Pidgeot. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 451.5, with its other build being 284.5. Pidgeot has the typing of Normal and Flying to give it a typing score of -1, and will have the moveset of Hurricane, Uproar, Heat Wave, and Roost, paired up with his ability of No Guard for an average move score of 116 and a final score of 704. In 37th is Blastoise. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 387, with its other build being 353.5. Blastoise has the typing of Mono Water to give it a typing score of 3, and will have the moveset of Water Pulse, Aerosphere, Dark Pulse, and Shell Smash, paired up with his ability Mega Launcher for an average move score of 125 and a final score of 707. In 36th is Sceptile. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 507.5, with its other build being 265. Sceptile has the typing of Grass and Dragon to give her typing score of -5.5, but with its ability of Lightning Rod, the typing score Sceptile will receive is -5.5, amazing ability. It will have the moveset of Giga Drain, Dragon Pulse, Earthquake, and Protect for an average move score of 104 and a final score of 711. In 35th is Medicham. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 350. Boosted by its ability Pure Power, its score will become 450, with its other build being 260. Medicham is the typing of Fighting and Psychic to give her typing score of 6, and will have the moveset of Zen Headbutt, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, and Protect for an average move score of 100 and a final score of 716. In 34th is Latias. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 445, with its other build being 390. Latias has the typing of Dragon and Psychic to give her typing score of -6, but it gets boosted to -5 with its ability Levitate. It will have the moveset of Mist Ball, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, and Calm Mind for an average move score of 107 and final score of 717. In 33rd is Manectric. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 472.5, with its other build being 265. Manectric has the typing of Mono Electric to give her typing score of -1, and will have the moveset of Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Uproar, and Protect for an average move score of 94. Its ability in Intimidate also gives it 25 bonus points for lowering opponent's attacking stat on switching, and receive a final score of 718. In 32nd is Aggron. Its stat split will classify as a tank and have a build score of 415, with its other build being 280. Aggron has the typing of Mono Steel to give her typing score of 9, but with the ability of Filter, it gets boosted to 12. It will have the moveset of Iron Head, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 93 and a final score of 720. And 31st is Mawile. Its stat split will classified as a hybrid, making it the highest ranked hybrid on this list, and have a build score of 295. Boosted by its ability Huge Power, the score will become 400. Its other build will be 285, and Mawile has the typing of Steel and Fairy to give her typing score of 13. It will have the moveset of Play Rough, Iron Head, Sucker Punch, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 104, and a final score of 724.5. And 30th is Gladios. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 485, with its other build being 340. Gladios has the typing of Dragon and Psychic to give her a typing score of -6, but it gets boosted to -5 with the ability Levitate. It will have the moveset of Luster Purge, Dragon Pulse, Thunderbolt, and Calm Mind for an average move score of 107 and a final score of 732. In 29th is Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan has a unique ability in Parental Bond that allows the user to attack twice. Because of this weird function, it will be calculated slightly different. It will be given 4 attacking moves instead of the usual 3 to maximize its ability. We are also assuming the damage of Parental Bond is halved, not quartered. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 400, with its other build being 357.5. Kangaskhan has the typing of Mono Normal to give her typing score of -4, and will have the moveset of Body Slam, Seismic Toss, Earthquake, and Fake Out for an average move score of 178. And a final score of 732.5. In 28th is Pinsir. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 467.5, with its other build being 307.5. Pinsir has the typing of Bug and Flying to give her typing score of -0.5, and will have the moveset of X-Scissor, Thrash, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock, boosted with its ability Aerolite for an average move score of 115, and a final score of 733. In 27th is Mega Charizard X. Its stat split will classify as a sweeper and have a build score of 410, with its other build being 313. Charizard X has the typing of Fire and Dragon to give her typing score of 6.5, and will have the moveset of Flare Blitz, Outrage, Crunch, and Dragon Dance, boosted by its ability Tough Claws for an average move score of 130.5, and a final score of 736. In 26th is Lopunny. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 474.5, with its other build being 287.5. Lopunny has the typing of Normal and Fighting to give her typing score of 3.5, but is boosted to 4.5 with its ability Scrappy. It will have the moveset of Headbutt, Drain Punch, Ice Punch, and Protect for an average move score of 97, and a final score of 742. In 25th is Gyarados. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 431.5, with its other build being 381.5. Gyarados has the typing of Water and Dark to give her typing score of 4, and will have the moveset of Waterfall, Crunch, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance for an average move score of 101. As stated with Ampharos, it won't gain extra points for the ability Mold Breaker, since one cannot guarantee its effect will come into play. End up with a final score of 747.5. In 24th is Swampert. Its stat split will classified as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 405, with its other build being 370. Swampert has a typing of Water and Ground to give her a typing score of 8, and will have the moveset of Liquidation, Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 110. Its ability of Swift Swim isn't guaranteed to activate, so it ends up with a final score of 748. In 23rd is Houndoom. Its stat split will classified as a special sweeper and have a build score of 452.5, with its other build being 292.5. Houndoom has a typing of Dark and Fire to give her typing score of 8, and will have the moveset of Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, Sludge Bomb, and Nasty Plot for an average move score of 106. Its ability of Solar Power is powerful, but one cannot guarantee the sun's presence, so it won't receive points for it, and end up with a final score of 753. 22nd is Scizor. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 412.5, with its other build being 345. Scizor has the typing of Bug and Steel to give her a typing score of 10.5, and all the moveset of Pounce, Iron Head, Trailblaze, and Swords Dance, paired up with the ability Technician for an average move score of 105.5, and a final score of 753.5. And 21st is Beedrill. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 517.5, with its other build being 217.5. Beedrill has the typing of Bug and Poison to give her typing score of 0.5, and will have the moveset of X-Scissor, Poison Jab, Brick Break, and Swords Dance, paired up with the ability Adaptability for an average move score of 127.5, and a final score of 757. And 20th is Steelix. Its stat split will classified as a tank, making it the highest ranking tank on this list. It will have a build score of 437.5, with its other build being 295. Steelix has the typing of Steel and Ground to give it a typing score of 11.5, and will have the moveset of Iron Tail, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 105. Its ability of Sand Force can't be guaranteed and have a final score of 759. In 19th is Alakazam, placing itself as the highest ranking monotype Mega Pokemon outside of Legendaries. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 575, with its other build being 252.5. Alakazam has a typing of Mono Psychic to give it a typing score of -5, and have the moveset of Psychic, Energy Ball, Focus Blast, and Nasty Plot for an average move score of 91.5. Its ability of Trace is guaranteed, but you can't quantify the strength of the ability it will copy, so it won't receive any bonus points, and end up with a final score of 763. In 18th is Tyranitar. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 434.5, with its other build being 420. With the effects of Sandstream, its other build is increased to 480. Tyranitar has the typing of Rock and Dark to give it a typing score of -2, and have the moveset of Stone Edge, Crunch, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 104, and a final score of 766.5. In 17th is Salamence. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 470, with its other build being 362.5. Salamence has the typing of Dragon and Flying to give her typing score of -1, and will have the moveset of Outrage, Return, Earthquake, and Dragon Dance, boosted by the ability Aerolite for an average move score of 122, and a final score of 767. In 16th is Gardevoir. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 480, with its other build being 302. Gardevoir is the typing of Psychic and Fairy to give her typing score of 2.5, and will have the moveset of Psychic, Moonblast, Hyper Voice, and Calm Mind, boosted by its ability Pixelate for an average move score of 125, and a final score of 771. In 15th is Heracross. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 482.5, with its other build being 340. Heracross has the typing of Bug and Fighting to give her typing score of 1.5, and will have the moveset of Pin Missile, Close Combat, Bully Seed, and Swords Dance, paired up with its ability and skill link for an average move score of 121, and a final score of 782. In 14th is Gallade. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 495, with its other build being 312. Gallade has the typing of Psychic and Fighting to give her typing score of 6, and will have the moveset of Psycho Cut, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, and Swords Dance for an average move score of 99. Inner Focus usage effect can't be guaranteed, so it ends up with a final score of 786. In 13th is Blaziken. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 470, with its other build being 280. Blaziken has the typing of Fire and Fighting to give it a typing score of 8.5, and will have the moveset of Blaze Kick, Close Combat, Poison Jab, and Protect for an average move score of 101. Its ability and speed boost will grant it a speed increase at the end of the turn, allowing for a bonus in 25 score. This can easily be obtained with a first turn Protect and a final score of 787. Could easily be higher, but with how I'm calculating these Pokemon, we can't guarantee multiple instances of speed boost activating. In 12th is Diancie. Its stat split will classify as a sweeper and have a build score of 485. with his other build being 295. Diancie has the typing of Rock and Fairy to give her typing score of 5.5, and will have the moveset of Diamond Storm, Moonblast, Earth Power, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 124.5. And as stated earlier, Magic Bounce doesn't get any points, end up with a final score of 790. In 11th is Mega Charizard Y. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 468, with its other build being 310. Charizard Y has the typing of Fire and Flying to give her typing score of 5, but one can presume that it won't have a weakness to water, technically from the sun's ability to half the damage received by water types. This brings Charizard typing score up to 7. It will have the moveset of Flamethrower, Hurricane, Solar Beam, and Roost, boosted by Drought for an average move score of 127, and a final score of 792. In 10th is Aerodactyl. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 495, with its other build being 300. Aerodactyl has the typing of Rock and Flying to give it a typing score of 5. It will have the moveset of Aerial Ace, Stone Edge, Dragon Claw, and Stealth Rock, boosted by the ability Tough Claws for an average move score of 117.5, and a final score of 792.5. In 9th is Garchomp. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 478, with its other build being 372. Garchomp has the typing of Dragon and Ground to give her a typing score of 3.5, and will have the moveset of Earthquake, Outrage, Poison Jab, and Stealth Rock for an average move score of 115. The effects of Sand Force can't be guaranteed, so it won't get any points for it. End up with a final score of 800. In 8th is Lucario. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 458, with its other build being 263. Lucario has a typing of Fighting and Steel to give it a typing score of 11, and will have the moveset of Meteor Mash, Close Combat, Extreme Speed, and Swords Dance, matched up with its ability Adaptability for an average move score of 147, and a final score of 802.5. In 7th is Gengar. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 535. With its other build being 265. Gengar has a typing of Ghost and Poison to give her a typing score of 3, and will have the moveset of Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Dark Pulse, and Toxic for an average move score of 110. Its ability of Shadow Tag to prevent opponent Pokemon from switching out will award it 10 points and end up with a final score of 805.5. In 6th is Metagross. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 455, with its other build being 380. Metagross has a typing of Steel and Psychic to give it a typing score of 6, and will have the moveset of Meteor Mash, Psychic Fangs, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock, combined with its ability Tough Claws for an average move score of 125, and end up with a final score of 806, ranking it as the highest non-legendary Mega Evolution. In 5th is Primal Kyogre. Its stat split will classify it as a special sweeper and have a build score of 495, with its other build being 400. Kyogre has a typing of Mono Water to give her a typing score of 3. Its ability Primordial Sea causes an immunity to fire, so it is instead increased to 3.5. It will have the moveset of Origin Pulse, Ice Beam, Thunder, and Calm Mind, boosted by the rain for an average move score of 120, and a final score of 836. In 4th is Mega Mewtwo Y. Its stat split will classify as a special sweeper and have a build score of 598, with its other build being 349. Mega Mewtwo Y has the typing of Mono Psychic to give her typing score of -5, and have the moveset of Side Strike, Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, and Recover for an average move score of 97.5. Its ability of Insomnia doesn't give it any guaranteed usage, so it ends up with a final score of 840. In 3rd is Rayquaza. Its stat split will classify as a sweeper and have a build score of 532.5, with its other build being 357.5. Rayquaza has the typing of Dragon and Flying to give a typing score of -1, but Delta Streams removes a lot of its weaknesses, and instead the type score is adjusted to 4.5. It will have the moveset of Outrage, Dragon Ascent, Extreme Speed, and Dragon Dance for an average move score of 116 and a final score of 854. In 2nd is Mega Mewtwo X. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 575, with its other build being 359. Mega Mewtwo X has a typing of Psychic and Fighting to give her typing score of 6, and will have the moveset of Zen Headbutt, Drain Punch, Earthquake, and Recover for an average move score of 101.5. Its ability Steadfast might never occur, so it won't get points for it and end up with a final score of 892. In 1st place is Primal Groudon. Its stat split will classify as a physical sweeper and have a build score of 495, with its other build being 400. Primal Groudon has the typing of Ground and Fire to give it a typing score of 11.5, but with the ability Desolate Land, it completely removes its 4-time weakness to water and instead causes it to be an immunity, raising its type score to 18.5. It will have the moveset of Precipice Blade, Fire Punch, Solar Beam, and Swords Dance, combined with the effects of the sun for an average move score of 124 and a final score of 930. Yeah, so here's the graph of the top 10 Mega Evolutions by scoring. Now, some might question that Rayquaza should be first, as it does lie in the anything goes category. The thing is, Rayquaza is the only Mega that can hold an item, so when adding Choice Span and the stats it gains from it, Rayquaza would get a score of 944, placing it in first. Now, here's a display of all 50 Megas ranked together. Now, just know, this calculation isn't perfect, so some Pokemon might not be scaled as well as they should have, such as Sableye of course, some ranked way too high. I think Aerodactyl ranked too high. I would say any scoring difference between 25 between Pokemon are easily interchangeable. But looking at this ranking, what would you guys give it out of 10? Maybe I'm glazing myself, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. As we see the legendaries at the top as they should be, and most of the booty mons near the bottom. Let's look at the ranking a little more in detail though. These highlighted Pokemon are those that were classified as sweeper, meaning both attack and special attack were equally as strong. Of course, scoring wise, they don't gain any points for doing this. These three were labeled as hybrid, meaning their build score, pre-adjusted for abilities, were within 10. This normally does bad for a scoring, as your better build is weighted fully with your lower one being halved. Because of this, hybrid just loses a lot of potential points for having pretty evenly spread out stats. And one last thing I want to show you guys is this chart. This chart is comparing Omega's Pokemon's base stat with their score received in the system. Obviously, there's a positive correlation with higher stat equal higher score, because more stat is better. But mainly this is just showing that having a higher base stat isn't guaranteed of receiving a higher score. This can easily be seen with Mawile having the same base stat as Sableye, but with a much higher score. And can be seen with Primal Groudon having the highest score despite not having the highest base stat, having lower base stat than Mega Rayquaza and both the Mega Mewtwo's. Yeah, so that's my calculation for the Mega Evolution. This might be the final calculated ranking, as I don't have any more ideas for rankings. But if you guys do comment down below what you want to see, just don't make it too crazy of an idea that involves a large Pokemon pool, because I ain't trying to yap about numbers for over 15 minutes. Outside of that, expect some weird stuff to come from my channel alongside these numerical videos. And yeah, that's about it.